We found that about 24% will buy the 10, and we found very strong loyalty to Apple overall.
Does it depend on what country they're in?
We did find that Chinese consumers are more likely to buy the 10, particularly affluent consumers. So for incomes above $30,000, 50% of them said they were going to buy the 10. Overall in China, it was about 26% that looked to be buying the 10.
Okay, so roughly 24 to 25%, depending on where you are. Why isn't that number higher? Is it because the iPhone 10 is so expensive?
I think so. I mean, there are a couple potential reasons. One is that consumers aren't sure, and they're going to wait to see the device and place it alongside the iPhone 7 and 8 before ultimately deciding or being swayed. We also did find that there was some issue around price. So specifically in China, we had more than 50% of consumers say that the 10 was very attractive, yet only about 26 saying they were going to buy it. And I think that disconnect is attributable to the high price of the 10. Yeah. So there clearly is some elasticity that exists.
None other than Steve Wozniak said yesterday, I think it was to Deirdre Bosa at a conference, he said, I'm not going to upgrade because I already have the 8, which is the same as the 7, which is the same as the 6. So there's a co-founder of Apple who is effectively saying that the 6, the 7, and the 8 are pretty much the same phone. So what's the difference? Would you agree with that?
Well, there is improved photography. There's a faster processor that exists as you progress in those generations. So there has been incremental improvement, I would say, between the 6 and the 8. And quite frankly, phones start to wear out. Either their screens crack or battery life becomes diminished or they get overloaded, with storage.
Well, he's obviously used the new iOS app if he's talking about battery diminishment.
It leads me directly to the question I have, Tony. It seems funny. A lot of people have been saying lately that their iPhone is not performing, their existing one, is not performing the way it used to. They don't get the battery life out of it. It is slower. Brian is nodding his head in agreement. My wife tells me this, and when my wife says something, I believe it immediately. Do you hear these stories, and is it merely coincidence that these older iPhones begin to degrade coincident with the new product cycle?
So I hear those issues, and I live those issues as an iPhone 6 user.
He says smiling.
Struggling with battery life. Look, I think, lithium-ion batteries do have issues as they get older in terms of being able to keep their charge. And, we see that.
It's like humans. I'm the same way. I don't have the same battery life that I used to.
Seriously, Tony, have you identified what that is? I have an iPhone 6 that's a relatively new phone. It's not like a 2-year-old phone. I upgraded to the new iOS.
I think that's it.
And I'm telling you, my
it's
battery,
more iOS than it can handle.
I'm getting 3 hours out of this. I can watch it go down.
Right. Well, look, it's difficult to know if there is something incrementally taxing on the battery from, the new operating system really is built for the new phones. It's built for a phone that's a faster processing. Yeah. The existing phones have better battery lives. But I think when you buy a phone, Apple explicitly says the battery's expected to keep 80% of its charge over 500 charge cycles. Well, that's only about a year or a year and a half if you're charging it every day. So there is a diminishment curve that is expected. And I think when a phone becomes, you upgrade its software, much like with PCs, when you upgrade your operating system, it places more tax on it.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.